given. Because the people that do it now, like I said, are doing it for entertainment value, but don't know the struggle. Me and you share a love of this culture and the struggle.
Yes.
You're a basketball fan.
Oh yeah, big time.
I'm not a basketball fan. I'm not, because when I found out what the NBA did for people to win games, it turned me completely off.
Okay.
And my favorite players weren't the superstars, it was the underdogs.
Okay.
My team used to be the Knicks.
Okay.
Charles Oakley is my favorite Knick of all time.
Okay.
After Charles Oakley, I have favorite players.
Yes.
One of my favorite players is Shawn Kemp.
Yes.
Tell me why Shawn Kemp embodies hip-hop and Dan McNeal's creation.
Well, first of all, I absolutely love Shawn Kemp and his era of the Supersonics. That's just my favorite team. He embodied hip hop because, first of all, he had the ramp hairstyle. His swag was off the charts. He had his own custom sneaker. I had a pair of them. They were Reebok black tops. He was constantly listening to hip hop. Back in the days when the headphones were like this big. He was a man child. He jumped straight from high school to the NBA,
which was rare at one time.
Right. So in many respects, he was a kid and product of that hip hop era, jumping into this older man's sport at the time. This is right on the cusp when Jordan started coming in and all these other guys as well. So. And
Shawn Kemp is one of the 5 people in the NBA at one time that epitomized hip hop.
Yes.
Number 1 is Allen Iverson. He will always be the number 1 hip hop athlete.
Okay.
Period. As we go along in basketball,
yes,
you have Shawn Kemp. You had John Wallace, Stephon Marbury, Gary Payton, Vince Carter.
Yes.
You could make a squad. Ultimately, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
You could make a
KG.
squad. KG. Oh,
yeah.
KG.
Yeah.
You could make a squad based off of all the people who hip hop nurtured and bucked the system.
Yes.
Hip hop was about being different. Once again, being the black sheep and making your name known.
Yeah.
As a man who grew up through that era, and now you have the ability to make your name, where do you want your name? Where do you want your name and your voice to be heard? And why would it make the most noise there?
I think the first thing I want my name and quote unquote legacy to be heard is through my philanthropy. Me as an individual and the people I connect with. We connect and we share and we give information and support each other. I think that I want that to be the biggest part of my legacy when I do expire from this earth. And then my son has to have that, legacy for himself.
Right.
If I had to pick something or a genre, I would really like to be in some type of creative space, and right now it happens to be comic books. I like creating, I like building things that represent us, because yes, the Marvels and DCs, they're finally turning the corner and creating, but
we want to talk about that.
Yeah, there's still subtle nuances in certain things that don't address pertinent topics that are in our communities. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and say there aren't books that do that, because we had the Milestones of the world that did that. There's an amazing book by the name of Black that's just killing it. That's just, so there are items out there that are doing it, but we just need more creators doing that type of creation.
And that's my problem, and this is why this is a hip hop interview.
Yeah.
Because hip hop is about making your own lane.
Yeah.
We were taught a lie, many lies, but here's one. We were taught the lie of supply and demand, right? And one person eloquently told this to me. They said, well, what if there's no demand? How do you supply the people?
Right.
Because everybody has a demand. You have to make your lane. Show people that there is a demand and just supply it. In American society, the demand is for the underdog to be heard.
Right.
But the mainstream always shuts it down. Now you're into comic books,
yes,
which means you're fighting a machine that was already built on the backs of liberalism, immigration, and social, let's say, just say social economic hatred. Not for us, but within their own culture. How is it, because I'm not in that field, how is it to come into that field and then look at the opposition that you have and to know that's what you're fighting?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, initially it was a little frustrating until I found out that there was a community of color of creators. So at that point, once I found my family, and and it's primarily African American and Latino, the machine, that's, God bless it. Yes, I still like it. I go see the movies and buy the product, whatever. But in terms of the innovation and new ideas, it's this community of color, these creators of colors is what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's what it is for me. Yeah.
The next part, we're going to go into your creation versus the machine. Let's talk about the machine and you for a second.
Okay.
Because personally, I'm a DC comic head.
Okay.
I hate Marvel. And it's not that Marvel's bad. It's just that when Spider-Man and X-Men fell off, that was it for me. Okay. I really couldn't get into anything else. You know what I'm saying? In the 90s, Spider-Man the cartoon, Channel 5. Yes. X-Men the cartoon, Channel 5. Yes. Before that, X-Men, Channel 9. Spider-Man's Amazing Friends, Channel 9. Yes. The Hulk, Channel 4. So everybody, we're giving you Saturday morning cartoons and how these things came about. Yes. DC didn't have that. You had Batman and Superman and the Super Friends, and that was it. Right. The thing that made those things, as I got older, evil to me, is I did a psychological study. Okay. And it said, when a Caucasian child, male child, sees a superhero, they see themselves. Right. And when a man of color or a child of color, a melanated soul, sees a superhero, they see what they wish they could be. Right. So people will say, I wish I was white, or I wish I was that, or I wish I could live this life. Right. Why is it important, in your opinion, or in your experience, to give these children something to look at that looks more like them, so they don't have to wish they can be?
I mean, I think you really hit it on the nail on the head. I mean, it's critical that our young people can inspire and can see things in individuals and people that look just like them and want to be that. It's funny because how some things have changed with the advent of Black Panther coming out. And I remember going into the store with my wife, and whether you like Black Panther or not, there's some other things with that, but it was very interesting because I saw a white child running up and holding literally the big Black Panther. Mommy, I gotta have the Black Panther. And it was just ironic because not too long ago it was the other way around. Exactly. And I think as creators of color, if anything, it's showing that good stories can bolster the people that are playing in those stories, and can also have a tremendous effect on our young people who want to see that they can be super as well.
That's the point. Once again, hip hop and creation. Yes. My friends used to get beat up because in the Cowboy Indian movie, they always rooted for the Indians. Right. When I used to like He-Man. That was my god. I found out He-Man was the #1 homosexual toy in America. I never knew that.
I didn't know that either.
and in learning it, I see why now. Okay. But it wasn't for how he was dressed. It's other things. But that's the side part. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have to talk about that one.
But Clamp Champ was my favorite. Yeah, because it was the black guy with they used to put the caps in his chest. Yes. Wow. Right. So get the caps with smoke like guns. He'd be like, oh, he's crap. Yeah. We had Sunman. We had defined characters that look like us. And today the characters are now being freely given to a point. Yes. I love the Black Panther movie, but if you dissect it, it still had tropes of white supremacy.
Of course.
How do you, as a creator, create and block out the white supremacy that governs every medium that we're in?
I think my partner and I, we, first and foremost, we're very woke on that type of trope. And we're very deliberate in terms of not regurgitating and doing the same things, as you mentioned earlier, that's been put out there. You have two black men who is creating this piece of work, and we're gonna govern it based on what we want to see and what we don't see that's happening in the world. And I think that's critical to do when you're creating these likenesses and images and characters that are going to be shared with adults and also children.
And see, that's what makes what you do so important. Because you said Milestone? Let me tell you about Milestone Comics. My mother bought every #1.
Yes.
And I got every #1 autographed by Dennis Cowan.
Yes.
Except for Static Shock.
Yes.
And she went to the Black Expo in New York at the Javits Center.
Yes.
When they did their first expo.
Yeah.
Remember they came in the bag and
Yes.
the card with it?
Yes.
I had those autographed.
Wow.
So when Milestone came out,
Yes.
I was like, oh snap,
Right.
Blood Syndicate?
Right.
With the dude with the gang sign and Dog and dude with
Yeah.
the Wild Son. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Icon.
Yes.
What's the other
Hardware.
one? Hardware.
Yes.
So when you seen that, it was like, oh snap, they look like me.
Right.
Read the story. It's poignant.
Right.
But more importantly, even if it was a regurgitation of a story, it had depth and soul to it.
Right.
Nowadays, let's go back like 5, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Static Shock was in DC, not Rebirth. New 52?
Yes.
Maybe that's like 3 years ago?
Yeah, almost 5 years ago.
So 5 years ago. So I was about right.
Yeah.
So Static Shock went from the black sheep who found his powers while being in love with a girl who didn't really give him play, but liked him as a friend, and he had to find his identity, his soul, and his manhood to be a hero.
Right.
Turned into a boy that went to high school who stared at girls' butts and fought the guy who liked the Joker. So when somebody who doesn't look like us tells our stories,
Right.
there's no soul, there's no depth, there's no meaning, it's just money.
Right.
But when we tell the stories, there's soul, there's depth, and there's knowledge.
Right.
The absence of soul in media means what?
It's not authentic. It's a facsimile. It's fake. You mentioned about belief in God. I mean, the soul is the beginning of it all. That's the match strike of God. You know, to put into the vessel that's the body. And if you don't have that, everything that's coming from you or coming out of you is just not going to have the impact, or not going to really inspire other people, whether to read it or hear it or whatever the case may be, wherever it is being produced by the individual. So, you know, I'm with you on that one. The soul, you have to have work that is coming and derived from the individual, from the most deepest, darkest recesses of that person.
So if the eyes are the window to the soul,
Yes.
the pen is the what to the soul?
The eyes, I would say the pen is, I don't want to say sword because it's not a violent act. It's the instrument for expression. You know, I would have to say that.